Hey folks, Reloading Bench here. I'm going to call this my intro to YouTube video. I've been watching YouTube videos for a long time. I think they're incredibly helpful, especially when you're trying to do something yourself that you've never done before. Something you know you can probably tackle but just need a little help. Or on the flip side, just videos of interest that catch your attention when you're clicking around or jumping from one video and seeing a topic that leads you to another. So I thought I would kind of jump into the mix a little bit. I've been giving it some on and off thought for a long time actually, and I really didn't feel like repeating videos that others have done with my own thumbprint, with the exception being reloading's a pretty unique hobby in that folks do things their own way, or they same thing can be done a lot of different ways, and reloading brings a very unique opportunity to do things very differently to create similar or the same results. So with that, I thought I would try and give this a try. So while I'm talking, I thought I'd break out something that I've recently discovered that I think is pretty phenomenal. I'm not a beer drinker, but I do like root beer. And this is kind of, in my opinion, the best of both worlds. It's called Not Your Father's Root Beer. And it's root beer essentially with a little bit of a kick. So I thought I'd say hi and have a drink with you guys and let you know what my thoughts are and what I'm going to do. That's good. So something that struck us, my sons and I, when we went out to the range a few years ago was we saw somebody shooting what I didn't know at the time, but turned out to be an M99, a Barrett M99 416, and it was just incredible to watch. Only had a few rounds, and there was a group of folks, and we stood by. It was just a big, long rifle, big piece of steel, and when he shot that thing, it was almost like a mini shockwave, and we were probably 10 feet back. So we thought that was pretty cool. And when I went and looked them up and saw the price of what a Barrett M99 was at the time, or any of the Barrett 416s, it was a little shocking and something that I immediately dismissed. Fast forward a couple years to now, and we were thinking of doing a project gun this year, a single build that would be based on the 416 Barrett platform. So that's what led me to YouTube, and I thought, oh, let me poke around and see who's doing 416 stuff, and there's not actually a lot of stuff out there. So I thought this would be an opportunity to do something that wasn't redoing somebody else's work, copying something that's already out there, and adding value to the community a little bit in bringing something different. So what you hear on a couple videos, because I've started to make videos, and now that I'm doing an intro video after I've done a few videos but not posted anything yet, some of them may not make sense in terms of what I'm saying, but what I want to stitch together in terms of the goal here is to focus on areas of interest for me. One of those is reloading. Another is tinkering and building, and obviously shooting. So by building a 416 that utilizes the 416 Barrett, and then reloading for it, because if anybody's priced these out, these are anywhere from $6 to $8 for a good deal, and then you throw shipping and other fees in on top of that, and it gets quite expensive per shot. I'm figuring that I can, with when all my reloading costs, brass being bullet and brass being pretty high, I can get this down to maybe $2 per shot on reloads. And this is not something you would go out and shoot 100 rounds anyway, so maybe a handful of rounds, 5, 10, maybe a little more per range visit, but nothing heavy duty. So I thought I'd do what I'm calling a series, and I think it's funny because I've seen other contributors on YouTube with their different channels. I've seen them do what they call series, and it seems like folks start something maybe do a couple videos and then they're off to the next series, kind of like shiny new toy. And that's not my goal here. So I don't want to be a mile wide and an inch deep in terms of depth of coverage. I'd prefer to be a foot wide and a couple feet deep. And I'm not proclaiming to be any type of expert in this stuff at all. So don't take any of my advice, and everything that I do, if you copy, I'll have to throw in that disclaimer from a liability perspective. You're on your own, because I'm not stating fact. I'm just stating this is what I'm kind of doing based on the hobby that I like. So now that all that legalese is out of the way, I don't plan to jump around a whole lot. I may throw other things into the channel as I learn all this video and audio stuff, lighting, experimenting. So hopefully each video would get a little better in terms of content and what you're hearing and seeing. But I'll give it a try. And again, the focus right now is going to be on the Barrett 416. And the idea that I have currently is roughly 3 different parallel tracks. And that is to do the reloading component side of it. And I've just started to get some of those pieces in. So you'll see videos on that, what it's going to take for me to reload the 416 Barrett. I'm also going to do a focused set of videos on the single shot lower build. It's essentially an AR lower without a mag well, and pretty straightforward. A little heavier duty in terms of maybe the trigger and some other components because of the 50 BMG primer. And the third component of the video series or track would be the full complete rifle. So reloading the lower, the complete and assembled rifle. And that's essentially the goal. Oh, that's some good stuff. So with that, I'll continue drinking my root beer, trying to edit some of these videos, get them posted, and you'll see more of me as it relates to the 416, and potentially as I maybe branch off and highlight some of the stuff that I do for reloading. I don't have a reloading room. I have a little corner of the garage. Thus, the name of my ID/channel is Reloading Bench, because that's all I've got is just a reloading bench. So a small, very focused area of utilization in the garage, so that I can do my hobby. So maybe other videos will highlight what I've done in the reloading space that maybe is a little different from what other folks are doing, or just my way of doing things. So I'm happy to share content. Feel free to let me know what you think. If you want to bash, I've got pretty thick skin, but my preference is you take it somewhere else, because I'm more for presenting what folks can either take something away from. But if you have a heavy critique, or if I'm blatantly doing something wrong, feel free to let me know, and I'll try to correct. Otherwise, I will see you occasionally on the next set of videos, and take care until I publish some. Bye for now.